Scale Dreams. Just want to thank everybody for checking out the last couple of videos. The likes, comments, it's all appreciated. So today I'm going to go over my the engine that I'm going to use for my 29 Ford. So first of all, I put together the kit engine so I could get an idea of how the engine sits in the frame, how it lines up, how deep it sits, and the length and all that stuff, to give me a better idea of how I'm gonna put this one in, or this one. So initially I was gonna put this one. This is from the 1940 AMT's 1944 delivery. So this is a Buick Nailhead. Looks like a fairly decent engine, missing some parts. I don't even know why it's an option in the engine if it doesn't have all the parts, but anyways, that's a different story. So ended up finding another Buick Nailhead in the parts box. This one, I remember I got this one when I was a teenager. I got a bunch of parts from a buddy of mine who got out of the, who just wasn't into modeling anymore. So he gave me all this stuff, and this just happened to be one of the extra engines. I said, yeah, I'll take all that stuff. So I've had this sitting since I was like 16 years old. So almost 30 years. And who knows how old it was before that. So kind of neat that this is gonna go in. So anyways, this was a glue bomb. I managed to get the heads off without damaging the block, so you can see the heads just glue bombed in there. Just a mess. The intake glue bombed. Okay, so we'll get the glue bomb out of the way. I only had one valve cover with it, so this might come in handy, because I'm gonna dechrome these anyway. Okay, so this is the one in the 44. Compared to this, check out the engine detail. So according to all the pictures I looked at, the Buick Nailhead has the starter on this side. Fuel pump would be right here. Oil filters here where it's supposed to be. Looks like that's a fuel pump there. That's not right, but I'm not sure what that is. The only thing missing, I'll have to add some cooling. The cooling lines that come up and then go into the heads. So obviously this is a way better looking detailed offering. I don't even know what kit it's out of, but they look pretty similar in size and whatnot. Yeah, it's kind of neat. So the heads for this, they don't even, they're like, look at the holes here, and here's the locator pins. It doesn't even line up, which is odd. But so when I finally got the heads off and I realized the holes are here, and I was looking at this and lines right up. Isn't that interesting? So that's going to make it pretty easy to put all these new parts onto this more detailed, like clean it up, and it should look pretty good, I think. So yeah, all this stuff is going to fit on there really nice. Even the valve covers line right up. I just got to clean the tabs off there, it'll sit better. I thinned out the fan a bit. It was a pretty blocky piece, so I cleaned it up a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of cool, kind of neat that I found this out and kind of went through it, and all of a sudden I tried these on, and they're actually part of the same mold. So that's neat. So I'm going to clean this up. What I might do is, because this transmission, I don't know if I'm going to switch this out, because this will give me a little more room, slightly, maybe a millimeter or two, because when I line this up, so with this on, they're pretty much almost the same length. So because I'll have to find a fan belt assembly for this, so it's going to stick out a little more than the one on this one. So if I use this, it'll give me a couple millimeters so I can push this back for the fan belt to fit. So that's my plan. I'm going to cut this off. I might cut this starter off because it sticks out too far for my liking. I'm going to have a look at some pictures, and if it's in the right spot, I'll leave it, but I might cut it off, fill it in, and then we'll see. I got to cut these locators off. So this is where it sits on the frame, and it sits on the front right here, and here. So I've got to make something on the front so that'll sit. Might come out like this or something. I don't know, we'll see. And then the other locators will be right under the heads, right here. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll see if I can pull it off. And once I get some work done, I'll show some more. Okay, so I did a bunch of cutting and added in some styrene sheet. So obviously I cut the old transmission off and the starter, cleaned it all up, and then I started filling in the spot where the starter was. So I'm not looking for crazy detail or whatever. I just want it to look nice. The starter is going to go over there anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to get it to look good. And I just cleaned up the side of the block a little better, both sides. Like I said, got that cleaned up, cut off. I'm going to wait for this to dry fully, trim it all off, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And then the transmission, so the starter bulge was up here, so I had to cut that all off. It came out like this. So I cut this all off, shaped it a bit. And then, so I'm going to put the bulge where it should be, where the starter is. So I just flattened it, put a piece of sheet styrene there, same thickness, and then I'll just shape a little bulge in here once this dries fully. And that's pretty much it so far. Once I get that all dried out tomorrow, I'll continue on. Okay, got a little more work done. So I filled all this in, just clean this up more. So I made a sorry, excuse me. So as I said earlier, I had to remove the starter bulge. It was out like this. So it bulged out here. Cut it, shaved it all down. Put some styrene in here, you can see. And then I used my styrene glue, goop, and I just made a bulge. Still a little soft. Still needs to be cleaned up. I'm gonna let it harden up overnight. So I think that looks pretty good. And so when I put this on, pretty much covers everything. There's a little gap in there, but that's okay. The starter will cover that. So yeah, I think that'll look pretty good. Good little cleanup. It's ready to go. Gotta find, oh. Yeah, so I'll put these heads on next and make these, make the cooling lines to the heads. So that'll be next. Okay, we're back with more progress. Excuse me, I got a little more work done. I got the heads on. I've drilled all the holes, so 8 holes on the plugs. Drilled a hole for the distributor. I had to put a piece in here for the lower rad, the coolant. There wasn't one on this side for whatever reason. So this fan belt assembly I had to modify to get it to sit back further. I don't know if you can even see that. So anyway, there's the hole styrene I put in here. I have to get this to sit further back, closer to the block. So when I did that, I have no room to put this fuel pump. It's supposed to sit right here. It's supposed to sit right here, but because I moved the whole fan belt assembly back, I have no room in here. So I just put it there. It's actually came out of the parts box. It was a oil filter, and I just cut it down. So yeah, and then I'm just finishing off these other cooling lines. I'm waiting for, I ordered some smaller round styrene, so that's what I'm waiting on right now. So as far as I can take it, I just put some of the ribbing in, drilled out these frost plugs. There should be another one in the middle here, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Anyways, I filled this part in where I cut out the starter, so that's all been filled, and put some putty all on to smooth it out. So that's looking good. Just having fun with this one. So here's the original transmission that came with the straight, the 4 and the kit. So like I said before, I had to cut the starter bulge out from here, and then I relocated it here. I don't know if you can see that. So I got my starter pinned in, and yeah, it's going to sit in there nice. So that fits just perfect, and it looks a lot better than the molded in piece. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to have to do up some headers, so I might not. I want the headers to go in between the frame rails, but that's going to be pretty hard because there's not much room there. So I might not be able to use the fenders for the engine compartment, which I really wanted to use. So yeah, so since this is as far as I can go now, so I'll just post this up, and yeah, I'm not going to worry about this fan belt too much, this harmonic balancer, because you won't be able to see this anyway. But so I did some dry fits, and it fits pretty good. I just got to do something with the mounting, because it's going to end up mounting right around here. So we'll see how that all goes. But thanks for watching this one, and appreciate. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Holidays are over for me, so I'm back to work tomorrow. And hope you all have a good one. Pat out. On. Thank you. Thank you very much.